Catherine, we have one shot at this.
Okay, go for it. All right.
Woo! That's
okay.
it. We're done.
The lid is off the salsa.
The lid is off the salsa.
Ulf.
We're off to a great start, I think.
Yeah, I think that's like some kind of Old Nordic for wolf.
There you go.
There you go.
So, my name is Stina. I have Catherine here with me.
Hi.
We are co-hosts, and our podcast is called A Jar of Salsa.
For the casual academic.
There's a colon in between both of those statements.
Is.
Catherine, why don't you tell them how we got started?
All right, so this idea came to us in kind of a fit of delirium.
Straight up delirium.
Yes, this was the end of last semester, winter of 2016. I was trying to finish up this big research paper. Stina was here grading some papers, trying to get things in for the end of her semester because we're at different stages of our academic journeys. Right now, I'm just finishing up my first year as a grad student here at Kane University, working toward a Master of Arts in English and Writing Studies. And Stina, why don't you?
I have one of those. So I graduated in May with a master's in English and Writing Studies, and it was a wonderful 2 years here at Kane University. Catherine and I met in the Writing Center.
Yes, we both worked in the Writing Center.
And we spent a whole summer together.
Yes.
In the Writing Center, and we got nice and close and stayed nice and close, and hence the delirium and hence the idea for the podcast.
Right. So a little more context on that. Sorry, I kind of branched off.
It happens.
I had just come from an end-of-semester party in one of my classes, for which I had brought a bag of chips and some salsa. As we were going through our respective responsibilities that we had to get done, we were laughing, we were having a good time, and we said, gee, wouldn't it be great if we could kind of capture this moment, this academically fueled delirium.
I might have been coffee fueled, but
yes, it was academically contextualized, maybe coffee fueled, lots of caffeine.
That's
involved.
a 25-cent word.
Yes,
contextualized.
27-cent word. I don't know why there's 2 more cents there, but
Adam.
I guess that's my 2 cents. That's my 2.
But we're gonna be full of puns, by the way. I'm sure. So that's how we got started, and then we decided to sit down and really get an outline together. So we're going to run that by you now. We have a bunch of different themes. When you stay tuned, we will discuss our first theme, which is language. We hope that every season, or so to speak, will have a different theme. And the first one is language. And we are so excited to welcome our first guest at our next episode, which will be Andre Jones.
Yes, I wasn't sure if we wanted to say the last name.
The pause was for dramatic effect.
Oh.
Nah, he doesn't care.
Yeah, okay.
I hope he doesn't care.
Well, now his name's out there, so...
Should I pick up the phone and call him?
He better be ready.
He's ready. I think he's ready.
He's going to be ready.
So, we're hoping that these will be 30 minutes. We promise you nothing. And we hope to have a beginning where we will, of course, introduce the speaker and our salsa of the day.
It'll be a different salsa each time.
Yes. And then we'd like to go into them talking a little bit about themselves, some sort of bio, who they are, where they're from, what they do, their interest in the particular field that they're talking about. And then we kind of want to interview them. We will say that we won't have all the facts, but we're going to do our very best to research ourselves before we have them on for an interview. We also hope to do live researching, which will then lead into live tweeting during our presentations. That will then lead into a segment we call Teacher's Corner. Sounds like a doorbell, right?
Yeah, we have to intro it like that every time.
Oh, okay. All right. So
let people know.
We won't pre-record it. I'll just say it every time to make it really authentic.
And this is for anybody out there who is already in the position where they're teaching, where they have young minds at their disposal. Think ideas about pedagogy, creative lesson plans, anything. Even the... maybe the gritty, less pleasant sides of teaching.
Oh, yeah. That's fun. So with that, that basically is hoping to give information to teachers teaching or students learning with their teachers. Kind of trying to make it easier for everybody, a little bit more exciting in the classroom. And then we will end with some sort of game, possibly an improv-related game.
Something funny, something fun. Keep the mood light, not the mood. I don't know what a mute is.
We made it up
It's like a muse. It's like a muse and a donkey combined.
Oh, God. So that is our goal. We hope to have some sort of musical accompaniment with salsa jars that we will pre-record. We were supposed to do a jingle, and we didn't. So stay tuned for that eventually.
We can tap on the salsa jar. That'll make something like music.
It reminds me of that SpongeBob episode
Which one?
with Gary's eyes where he's like, doo, doo,
Yes,
doo, doo,
yes.
doo. That's what it reminds me of. Since we introduced the show, we're going to introduce our first jar of salsa. So this is brought to you by Tostitos. Shout out to Tostitos. We are not saying anything, but if you wanted to sponsor us at some point, just throwing it out there. So Catherine, what kind of Tostitos salsa do we have
All right,
today?
so we have a pretty large jar of chunky, mild Tostitos salsa.
That's a lot of salsa.
It's a lot of salsa. There's some nice jar art. There's this procession on the front of looks like a tomato,
Or
a
tomato.
garlic clove,
We got some jalapenos.
and an onion, a red onion.
There you go.
That's
all you need.
You know, that kind of lets you know what's in this salsa.
She's reading the nutrition facts as we speak.
I'm reading the ingredients. I'm not going to do the nutrition facts.
Oh, okay.
Cause,
We don't care. That's why.
Yeah, we don't care.
We really don't care.
But there's some tomato puree in here.
Oh.
Diced tomatoes in
Diced.
tomato juice. Heavy dose of tomato.
Or tomatoes.
Tomato. Jalapeno peppers, onions, and less than 2% of vinegar, salt, natural flavor, and garlic powder. But listen to this. Listen to this nice...
Ooh.
Synchronized snapping.
All right, I'm going to go first.
All right, go first.
All right, so I have a decent amount of salsa.
Okay, here I go. Dipping in the chip.
Okay.
Getting some nice chunks and juices.
All right. So it's mild. It's not really hot. It's like a little bit of a tss, if you will. Right? Do you feel a little tss? Very little. It is definitely chunky. We got some big heaping doses of jalapeno peppers in here.
Yeah. I guess the seeds aren't there because that's where the real
Yeah,
spicy
no.
part would come from. No, this is a
I haven't hit a seed yet.
salsa. I feel like, you know, if you've got any kind of gastric issues, you don't really mix well with spicy food,
This would be the salsa for you.
you could still enjoy it. There are lots of chunks. There's a very fresh flavor to it.
I think so too.
Even though this is, you know, it's obviously a jar salsa that's, you know, been preserved, there is a fresh flavor.
Mm-hmm.
It's like biting into a slimy garden in the best way possible.
In the best way possible. Tostitos, the best
Yes,
way
the
possible.
best way. I just couldn't think of a better word other than slimy. I guess
okay.
maybe juicy.
It's not like we're English majors, so we're fine.
Yeah, no.
All right, we also got a lot. Everything's fine. We also got a lot of onions in here, big chunks of onions. It makes me feel good, you know, when you dip in your salsa and you see the vegetables in them.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm doing my job.
And the visual aspect of it, you know, there's colors here. There's, you know, you've got the kind of like white of the onions, the green of the peppers, the red of the tomatoes.
You have a lot of red.
Lots of red. But the tomato flavor is not overpowering.
It is not.
Every flavor in this salsa comes out and says, hey, here I am.
Hey,
Taste
how are
me.
you? That's what I want to do.
I'm taking some more.
I don't think we can stop eating it now that we've started. So, what else we got going on here, Catherine? I think, I don't want to be that person. For those of you who cannot see what just happened.
It's chipwrecked.
Hey-o! I chipwrecked the
chip
salsa.
is stuck there.
So you know when you dip something and you're just like, I got like almost all the chip out, but I left like this teeny tiny piece in the salsa. And
That's
it's
not
like,
teeny tiny. That is a huge
yeah,
honking
no,
shard.
This is the iceberg that hit the Titanic.
It is.
That's the Titanic hit. The iceberg didn't walk up to the Titanic. The Titanic walked up to the iceberg.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
So, I'm sorry, that's really funny to me. I'm just imagining, you know, a tiny boat hitting that chip within the salt. Yeah, it's.
We can make it happen. Like, we could reenact it.
Tiny boats in salsa.
Tiny boats. Mm-hmm.
Tiny
We
boats.
can make it happen. So,
All right.
yeah, the other thing is that you never want to be that guy who, like, does that with the chip, right? Makes the salsa or the dip, but specifically salsa because this is a jar of salsa, chipwrecked, and then people just walk away.
They walk
You know
away.
what I mean? They're like, I'm going to leave this baggage for somebody else.
And then it gets all slimy.
And soggy.
In the bad way. There's two kinds of slimy.
Oh, disgusting.
It kind of...
have some self-respect.
It coagulates into some kind of a chip paste.
You are killing it with the 25-cent words, my friend. You are just killing it. We are done analyzing, I think, the salsa. Is there anything else we want to say about it?
I guess if we had to give it a rating, I would say this is a solid salsa. This is, if you were looking for easily accessible, priced well, just your standard salsa.
Not too spicy. Mm-hmm. One that would probably be a crowd favorite, I would say.
Yeah, I can't imagine anybody disliking this salsa for any reason.
Unless they just don't like salsa, in which they are inhumane.
Or if they really want spicy, in which case, well, sorry, this isn't the salsa for you. You know who you are.
Yes, we're not going to call you out.
Yeah. I guess just to give an idea of what we'll be doing moving forward, as we mentioned, our first guest is going to be Andre, and he's going to be talking about language and superheroes. This is an area where he has a lot of expertise. He'll tell you more about that in episode 1. Mm-hmm. For now, we just want to make you aware that we have a Twitter. We're in the process of setting up a Twitter.
Well, it exists, but there's no image. But don't worry, it's not a virus. It's just us.
It's just us.
So it is called a jar of salsa _pod. A jar of salsa _pod. We're in the process of creating a website for ourselves, and we will go from there. But to end, we're going to play a game.
Oh, boy.
And it is an improv game called Questions Only. So basically what happens is we select a theme, whether it be like a wedding, a funeral, like the classic 2 mix-ups, I guess. So you select a theme, and then from there, you can only have a conversation through questions.
And they have to be related. They can't just be, out of thin air.
Like, what time is it? What color is my hair? Like, that wouldn't have anything to do with something remotely related to time. So,
what's our theme
Why
today?
don't we do a classroom? Because we're trying to help people learn things.
Okay, a classroom.
All right, you can start us off.
All right, I'll start us off. We're going to have the bell ringing in the classroom.
That's it.
That's the bell.
That's all we need.
All
right, I'll start.
Yeah.
All right. What time does class start?
Why do you want to know?
Don't you think the teacher will be upset if we're not on time?
Why are you so concerned what the teacher thinks?
Does my face give it away?
Do I look blind? Why would you think I don't know that?
What do you think we're going to learn about today when she finally gets here?
Does it really matter?
Wouldn't we know for the sake of our GPA?
Aren't we here to learn things?
What class is this?
What department even is this?
Why did we choose this school in the first place?
Why do we think so little of ourselves as to choose this academic institution?
What have we done to our minds at this point?
Where are our careers going?
What will our resumes say?
Do you think this is getting a little bit existential?
How should we solve this problem then?
Well, how do you suggest we solve the problem?
Why don't we pull up the dictionary?
What can the dictionary do for us?
Should we look at a thesaurus instead?
What's the difference?
Why don't we try Google?
Why not? I think I just lost the game.
Well, this is good because I've played this game several times and I never win. But that has probably been the longest questions only I've ever played.
Woo!
Let's high five it
High
out.
five.
I think we got the high five.
Yeah.
I was going to say camera, but there are no cameras here.
There are no cameras. It's a camera of the voice, known as a voice recorder.
That's deep, bro. That really hits my soul.
Deep.
Yeah. All right, so that is our first podcast. We hope you enjoyed our little introduction.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for giving us a chance.
If you change your mind on the first thing, take a chance on me.
I don't know the song. No,
right.
sorry.
Whatever, it's ABBA. All right, so we are signing off. Hope to have more podcasts for you soon. We hope to get one out a month. because we have so many segments and we're trying to make appointments with our special guests and do our research on our end so that we can be prepared. We're really like just trying to get one a month done.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, and if you have any suggestions for a theme or something you'd like to hear or somebody you'd like to see on our show,
or salsa you want us to review.
yes,
If you've got a favorite.
Forget everything about learning. If you want us to test some salsa, we will.
Learning and salsa go hand in hand.
They do.
That's why we're here.
And that, children, is the lesson for the day. How should we? I didn't plan
Delicious.
how to sign.
Well,
off.
we were gonna. Let's do this here. We're signing off, so we're gonna put a lid on this episode. Put a lid on our jar of salsa, our Tostitos, chunky mild.
Yo, let me hear that turn.
Let's do it.
Ooh.
That wasn't very audible, but hopefully it came through.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.